The Earth. Dear Hugo, I write to you from the middle of the world in Quito, Ecuador. In this postcard, there is the monument that marks latitude zero in the point from where the equator is drawn, the imaginary line that surrounds the Earth as if it were a belt. With only one step, you cross either to the north or the south of the planet. The city will be one of the warmest in the world, but its mountainous relief above the Andes makes it temperate. When I come back, I will tell you more details of my trip to South America. A hug, Michael. Where it's hot, where it's cold. Let's begin. The equator is drawn in the middle of the planet and divides it into two equal parts in the north and the south. Imaginary lines help us to locate points and limits of zones. Let's learn more. To locate places on the Earth's surface, imaginary circles are used as reference. Some surround the planet and draw parallels to the equator, others pass through the poles. The Earth is tilted. The planet revolves around the Sun, describing an elliptical trajectory, which is called the Earth's orbit. The Earth's axis is slightly inclined with respect to the plane of its orbit. The following image shows several lines including the Earth's plane, orbit, and the Earth's axis. If you measure how many degrees separate the equator from the line representing the plane of the orbit, it will match north and the south. Due to this inclination, the sun's rays reach perpendicular to the tropics, but incline to either north or south of the equator towards the poles. Interesting fact. The seventh planet, Uranus, has an axis rotation inclined to more than 90 degrees. That is, it rotates practically lying and in opposite direction to the axis of the Earth, from east to west. During summer, one of the poles points directly at the sun, and the whole hemisphere remains fully lit, while the opposite pole is covered for a night of 21 years. Can you imagine it? Thermal zones. In the equator is where you get more heat, but as the sun's rays are directed towards the poles, they project more inclined and make those parts of the Earth cooler. In this way, five large thermal zones are created: one tropical zone, two temperate zones, and two polar zones. Terrestrial thermal zones. Temperate zones range from the tropics, Cancer and Capricorn, to the polar circles, both in the north as in the south of the equator. These are the most extensive areas of the planet. Its climate is temperate. The rains and temperatures vary between each season of the year. Tropical or warm zones extend from the Tropic of Cancer in the north up to Capricorn in the south. It is characterized by high temperatures and abundant rains all the year or much of it. The polar zones go from the polar circles, Arctic in the north and Antarctic in the south, to the poles. This is where the lowest temperatures are concentrated, and there are only two seasons throughout the year, summer and winter. The northern hemisphere is formed by the glacial Arctic Ocean, and in the southern hemisphere is represented by Antarctica, that by itself it forms a continent.